So today I'm replacing the bulb for the brake light on my 91 Hiace LH119 cruising cabin, and I've got something holding the brakes. I've got the brake pedal pushed in with just a piece of channel that I had laying around. So I'm able to do this by myself, and I can see, hey Charlie boy, I can see that the one brake light, I guess there's redundancy. There's one on the side, one on each quarter, and then one in the back panel. And this has been kind of a mystery to me when I first bought the van, how to get this out. But I believe that there are nuts inside if you need to remove them. And so I've stripped off the panel. That's just some insulation I had underneath. And there's an access hole here. And I believe you just flip this. And the bulb comes out. So I'm just going to replace that bulb and we should be back on the road. So the bulb is a little bit rusty. The receptacle is a bit rusty. So I shot some PB Blaster in there and twisted it a bit, and of course the bulb just came out. So I'm going to work it with a pair of needle nose, see if I can get it to budge out of there. I had the same thing happen on the front marker light. The whole thing was just so rusted. I think there had been water in the light. So I had to get a replacement fixture from a Land Cruiser. And I believe I had to switch two of the wires in the terminals on the front one to make it work. But it was the same exact fixture, just had reversed polarity on two of the wires. So I'm going to try to work that out of there with PB Blaster and a snap-on, really good pair of needle nose pliers, and see what I can do. So here's what I was able to dig out. What's left of that bulb. It's not very much. It's pretty corroded, but I think the terminals are still in there. Just clean it up a little bit with actually a wire brush that was for plumbing. I use for sweating 1/2-inch copper joints to clean the female part. So that should fit right in. I'll use that to clean it up and see if we got power. See in there. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. So I've got it cleaned out. I've even got the spring moving in there. So clean it up a little bit, put a new bulb in. The ones I had on the shelf that look like they'll fit are 1157 with other manufacturers' numbers on them, but 1157 with the two terminals, and then the staggered little fins or detents, whatever they're called, so they go in. And there's a spring load inside their spring, so they go in about, I don't know, 1/8 or 3/16, and then they spin and lock in. So I'm going to clean that out a little bit more and try one of those and see if it turns on. And there we go, they're both alive. So now I've got all my marker lights, my brake lights, everything's working. And I think that's the only thing that would have prevented it from passing inspection, which I'm going for tomorrow, just to import it into province from BC, where I had it registered, and back to old Saskatchewan. And I'm going to, I pulled the other one out too, to check if there was any marking on the bulb, to see what kind of bulb, and there is, it's way underneath, but this one's also pretty rusted, so I'm going to pull it out, just make sure the action is moving in there. Spray it some PB Blaster and get it moving, and then I'll use some, there's electric grease you can use for these fittings. I'll spray some in there, make sure it's good and coated before I get it put back together, and we should be roadworthy. There we go. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. So I've got both those bulbs replaced. They're both functioning well. The one on this side didn't fare so well coming out, but it was nowhere near as rusted as the other side. So I cleaned that one out also and replaced it. And I cleaned it out with the spray cleaner. I don't know, I've had it forever. Couldn't tell you where I got it from. But Canadian Tire, anywhere will have stuff like this. Just a electrical contact connector, cleaner, and then some sort of grease, electrical corrosion prevention sealant. I don't know, again, I've had this forever. Probably just a generic thing you can buy anywhere. I know I use them a lot when I put my F-150 back together, all the engine management systems, all the electrical connectors, every single one's has been cleaned, has grease on it, so I know it's functioning well. And I feel the same way about this. What do you think, Charlie boy? Did we do a good job? Yeah, my helper Charlie. And hopefully everything flies for inspection tomorrow. That's the only thing I could think of. The only thing that ever really came back whenever I had it in for service. I've just been meaning to get around to it forever and ever, but one of those small things that never bothered me and never really impaired the function. But now everything is back to the way it should be. And yeah, pass it on. Anybody else that has the same issue, that's how you do it. You just pop open that section and you get your bulbs from the back. No problem.